Yeah. I don't own the rights to this music, but I was feeling it today. I was feeling Africa up in here, y'all. Hello.
That's Burner Boy. That's right. You listening to the right song.
Yes, Burner. Yeah. Oh, okay, family. How you doing? Happy Thursday. We are live. While it's playing, I'm gonna check. And make sure that we are live.
We live. The live button is showing.
Are we live? Mine is being weird. Whoa. Okay. We're gonna turn off Burner Boy, although I love him to pieces. Oh my God. Hi everybody. Happy Thursday. I hope this finds you all just thriving. I'm trying to check and see if we're live. You know I do this once a week, y'all. And it shows that I am, but for whatever the reason, there we go. Of course we are live. Let me take the volume down. I have a treat for you today. Happy Thursday. I have LaTrondra, who I'll be introducing shortly, but I'm so glad to have her. This queen is going to enlighten you in ways that you haven't begun to imagine. I want to thank you, LaTrondra, for being here today. I know you and I, girl, we've had our fair share of fun today, haven't we?
We sure have. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Okay, so I got to do this again. I don't know why. Bear with me 2 seconds. Hello, everybody. If you could hear us, and just to make sure sound check that we're okay, if you could just let us know, I would so very much appreciate it. I'm going to get out of here. Let me see. Here we go. This is what I want to do right now. I'm so excited to be here today. So excited to share this platform with my girl. Yeah, this is going to be absolutely beautiful. I'm just sharing right now so that I make sure I get as many eyes on you, LaTrondra, as I possibly can. I know you'll be excited about that, right?
I appreciate it. Absolutely.
Girl, thank you, Sheryl. I got you. Family, what's up? How are you? How is life treating you? How are you doing? Well, I just want to first and foremost say that I'm so excited to be here today. I want to, again, pause and just give thanks just for another day. There's so much going on in the world that if you woke up this morning and you could breathe and you could move your legs and your arms, then you are truly blessed. And we may not always be in a perfect situation, but as long as we have our ability to move about, we really have reason to celebrate. And I just want to say there's so many others that are going through things that we don't even want to imagine. So we send prayers out to those that experienced through the storm Ida or Afghanistan or floods or fires or earthquakes in Haiti. I mean, there's just so much turmoil in the world that it's so nice to have a platform like this that allows us to see that while there is tragedy in the world around the globe, the pandemic to add on, that there are people out here still fighting a good fight, and they're in good trouble. They're in good trouble doing good work. And this platform is put here to help promote those individuals. I am so excited. When I say excited, I mean I am so excited. If you don't know, my name is Sheryl Grant, and welcome to the Fit Live. We are here to highlight the real journeys and triumphs of individuals, professionals, and entrepreneurs from around the globe. Getting fit is more than a physical process. It's actually a roadmap for getting into mental shape, developing faith, intuition, and tenacity necessary to propel you towards your own success, not only in business, but in life. So the question I ask every week, and this week we're asking the same question. Are you ready to get fit? Are you ready to get mentally fit? Because that's why we're here. I created this platform to do just that. Highlight those journeys. It's here to encourage you. It's here to be used as a tool to inspire you, to uplift you, to give you what you need so that you can go out in the world, that craziness. You can go out and be your most audacious self unapologetically and know that you too can survive. And with that, I want to take this time to introduce you to LaTrondra. And I'm going to read this amazing queen's bio. LaTrondra received a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology from UC Irvine. Her professional career started in public child welfare after completing a master's degree in social welfare from UC Berkeley. Shortly thereafter, in order to address the growing concerns of youth transitioning out of the foster care and probation systems, she established a nonprofit community-based organization offering education, employment, and entrepreneurship training that prepared them for independence beyond emancipation. After working in youth development and mental health for more than 15 years, she obtained another master's degree in business administration from Mills College. She then began a new career in business management and worked in corporate America as a senior business analyst and later as a financial consultant. Her expertise lies in organizational development and operations management. She enjoys operational and strategic planning, organizational goal setting, and implementation. More importantly, her impact on the community reigns supreme as she continues working with youth and families involved in juvenile justice system. She is the director of programs at the Youth Advocate Programs in Oakland. She is also pursuing her PhD in integral and transpersonal psychology with an emphasis on Black and African-centered consciousness and spirits at the California Institute of Integral Studies in San Francisco. Her research studies and projects explore ways to improve Black family life, culture, and transform the spirit toward a greater sense of personal and communal well-being. Wherever you are, please stand to your feet and give this queen a round of applause. LaTrondra, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Sheryl. Thank you.
To have you. I'm so happy. Girl, the world needs you. I just have so many questions, and we have a whole hour in which we are going to have an amazing dialogue. I want to say to my audience, this is not meant to be a monologue just between LaTrondra and I. It's meant to be a dialogue. So I encourage you to ask questions. I encourage you to tag a friend. Ask somebody to join. This is an educational opportunity, a mentorship opportunity, a training opportunity, an encouragement and inspiration opportunity. But we can only do that if we share. Sharing is caring. So go ahead, press that button, tag a friend too, and ask them to come in and join us. So LaTrondra, again, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you, Queen? How you doing?
I am well. I am well. I am well. Thank you so much for asking. And what I would like to do is to just give an honor to those whose shoulders we stand, those who are in our direct lineage, and those who are not, our ancestors, our mothers' mothers, and their mothers' mothers, and our fathers' fathers, and their fathers' father. I just want to make sure that we recognize their struggles, their sacrifices, and all they've endured for us to be here. And that's why I am here, is because of them, because we are our ancestors.
Oh my God, what better way than to start this conversation off today? I want to say a personal thank you right now to Nicole Felix for the introduction to you. I am so impressed by my conversations with you. I'm so impressed by reading your bio. I want to know you more. I want to know you better. I want to get you acclimated to my world. I want to pull you into my world, LaTrondra.
I appreciate it.
such a, not only is it needed, it's necessary in the world we live in today. And we're going to dive into that. But I want to ask you, LaTrondra, what are you passionate about?
I'm passionate about Black folks. I'm passionate about our liberation of our mind, the illumination of our spirits. I'm passionate about our youth because they're a reflection of our families and our communities. I'm passionate about fairness and equity and equality and inclusion. I'm passionate about business and economic development, financial independence. I'm passionate about health and wellness. There's a number of things I'm passionate about, but yeah, to begin with, I'm passionate about thriving and flourishing and fulfilling my destiny. That's what I'm passionate about.
Woo! Did y'all just get a lot from that? I meant, oh my God, isn't that all things that we need within our community today in order for us to no longer be just surviving, but to thrive? We have survived for 400 years. It's time for us to thrive, and not just a select few, the one or two. I'm talking about the few around the globe. I was so impressed by you we started off this discussion today, but we're going to dive into that because I just got so many, like, you got all my little, my brain.
Your brain tentacles are just flowing. Huh?
One of the things I love most about what you have done in your career is that my platform is really about educating people how to find faith, intuition, and tenacity, and to stay mentally fit, and how to apply it to their lives daily so that they can thrive. And one of the things that I see, LaTrondra, and I'd love to get your feedback on and how you have maneuvered, is because sometimes we head down life's lane, and let's say we reach a brick wall and it's no longer working for us that way, or the way that we thought it would, or the way that we intended it for it to. You are a prime example that you can change. You're never stuck. You have had a multitude of careers within one career, and you're still thriving. Can you speak on that a little bit at all?
Absolutely. As
Just
far as
my journey,
my journey is, it's. I must say that my careers are a reflection of the life that I've lived, of having to maneuver through multiple challenges, growing up, having to maneuver through poverty, having to maneuver through the education system of our colonizers, having to maneuver through, lack and deficit, and not allowing that to be the mindset that, that I embody. So I wanted to try it all, and I wanted to, I didn't want to stop until I've arrived. And I'm learning that you really don't ever arrive. It's a process of, on this journey, and you just evolve and you get better and you perfect, but you don't arrive. So anyway, yeah, that's one example of, how I did it. And it was just all based on things that I'm passionate about. All the things I said previously, I was passionate about, my people. So I ended up in the field of social welfare and social justice, and working with our youth. I'm passionate about economic development. So I ended up in finance and in business. And I even started a number of my own businesses, as a result. So everything that I have been passionate about, I went out into the world, into the community, and created institutions, created organizations, and created businesses to bring others into that fold so that we can get there together.
So I just want to ask you a question. So when you're out there doing all this magical creation, LaTrondra, did you ever hit a wall where you thought, you know what, I'm fighting a behemoth of an what can I do with this? Have you ever faced that?
Absolutely. There's I don't know where this comes from. I'm trying to remember. It's just popped up in my head. I know that one of you guys probably know, but there's no progress without struggle. So, anything.
Progress without struggle. I think that's worth noting. Go on, I'm listening.
Yes, no progress without struggle, because it's just, it's supposed to be easy. It's supposed to come easy, but a lot of times it doesn't. And just because it's hard or it's a challenge and there's struggle doesn't mean that you give up on it. It means that you just press through, and that you, sometimes you need to step back and then you can move forward. I was told one time by one of my mentors that a tiger must crouch first before it leaps. So a lot of times you just have to, brace yourself and then back up and view the landscape, and then, plan and strategize accordingly, and then make that leap. So
yeah, you have to be one of my best friends, LaTrondra. I'm about to adopt you for sure. I had a question from the audience, and
yes,
for your question, because this truly is what enriches the learning and really gets us into dialogue. This is all about a conversation, and the end goal is to empower somebody out there that may be struggling and can't figure it out.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Figure it out. But we know that tribally, when we come together, that's how we get to the next step. So Lewis's question is, how do you go from passion to action?
Yes. Collectively, share your dreams and your goals with others who can help you get there. A lot of times it's important to write it down. Write your passions down, because if it's not written down, it didn't happen. If it's not written down, it's just a thought, a forethought. But once you start writing down your goals and your passions, that's what makes you put them into action. And so you'll start looking at the steps needed to get there. And then you have others around you to hold you accountable to make sure that you're getting there. So it's important to include others in your dreams and in your passion so that you can achieve them together. All of my successes, all that stuff that you rattled off about me, was not me alone. I had so many people holding me up, rooting me on, cheering me on, showing me the way. And I've even had some drag me, pull me. They were already in front of me. They've already, blazed the trail and paved the way, and was just ready for me, waiting on me to just come through. And so they had to reach back to pull me forward. And that's what I also encourage others to do, is to bring others along, reach back and to bring forward.
I just love that, what you're saying, because there are times when we talk about having faith. My platform is about being fit. It's a mental construct that stands for faith. Nasty. Faith is your belief system. It's what you believe in and what you give credence to. And faith is the thing, to me, that is what allows you to propel beyond your greatest imagination.
Yes.
Now, one of the things you said is that, you need to take he said, well, how do you take your passion into action? You got to write it down. You want to think it first, but then you got to write it down. And writing it down really makes it come to life so that you can take the appropriate action. I love that, what you said, because it's not always easy when you're stuck. When you're stuck sometimes and you can't understand, why does life keep doing this to me? We have systemic racism. Why do we have to keep going through this? Why do we have to create convince the masses that racism even exists? Why do we have to continue to struggle in a world? Why does the world not want us? Why is there systems in place that want to hold us down? Like, why? And after a while, somebody keep hitting you on a hammer hard enough, long enough, it's gonna hurt. And it's sometimes to it. And I love what you're talking about, because really, LaTrondra, what you're talking about is taking it to a mental level. Like, we have to be warriors. So I want you to talk about that, because you're a psychologist, dear. And the psyche of it all, how do you encourage people to do that? I know writing it down is one way. You said building community is another way. But when you feel like, LaTrondra, you tried all the above. You tried that.
Absolutely. I did want to speak to the writing it down and put it into action. The important aspects is to also look at it from a bird's eye view. Elevate yourself above it 3,000 feet and see exactly what's going on the landscape. A lot of times it's so much piled on into one area that you just have to chip away at it bit by bit. And so you take those big chunks and cut them up into small little pieces and then attack them that way. And then also faith. You talked about faith. Faith is extremely important. And for me, because hey, Felicia! I just saw Felicia. Felicia and I went to high school together. We went to Castlemont, the Lady Knights. I played basketball. Yeah. So, but not only faith, but to just understand that we are spirit, that we are spiritual beings, and that is our essence. And to listen to that intuition within us. A lot of times the answers are given to us, they're within us, but we don't slow down enough. We don't contemplate. We don't think. We don't get laser focus on one particular thing in order to, make it a reality, to manifest it into reality. And so I would say just tapping into our spiritual being, our spiritual self, and to keep that faith and just know that it's going to happen. You do a thing enough, you're going to become an expert at it, and it's just going to become easy. It's just going to happen easily.
I love everything that you're saying. And I know that there are so many people out there that are suffering right now. There's a lot in the world, and it's a lot put on us. I think anecdotally, everything that you're saying makes such perfect sense in our ability to overcome. So thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for the passion that you have to want to bring this awareness of the power within each of us to the community and the world around the globe. And I know that while your focus is on youth, which is really our future, right? There are adults my age and beyond and younger that equally experience this. What made you want to start with our youth, and in particular foster? What made you, or the probation? What made you want to start with them?
Because of my troubled times as a teenager, very, very challenging. And, I experienced being in foster care briefly, and placed with in a group home, and then later a relative placement. I've also gotten in trouble with the law as a teenager. And then there were times where I was able to just go through unscathed with any detection that, I was up to no good and it could have ruined my life. So what helped was to have people in community, to have family, to have resources youth groups, other organizations out there. I was involved in everything as a teen too. Once I saw that I was given a second chance to pull it together and to get myself, on track, I didn't decide to go to college until like the second semester of my 11th grade. And people were really pulling strings for me to get me, to get me there. So yeah, I must say that because I was a youth in need of those type of supports, that I wanted to be that myself.
Thank God for you. They say when you take the elevator up, always make sure you're sending it back down. Each one teach one, right?
Mm-hmm. And yes,
And you put a big smile on my face when you said community, because community is everything. That their old African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, we go together.
Yes.
Time where it's really truly about a collectiveness. It's not individualism. I mean, you need to be who you are and who God created you to be, but we also we also need to be in community and really giving back. So I thank God for you. What is one of the things that you see as you are working with our youth that is the number one thing that they need? Like, what is that thing that you see that's consistent with our youth that they need, or that comes up? Or is there something?
Yeah, I would say the to be encouraged to imagine, to use their imagination, to tap into their creativity, because that is again their connection to the divine. That's their connection to God. That's their connection to the ancestors. There's messages, there's ways that we're communicated on the spirit realm. And that's a lot of times expressed through our creativity. And when we're not allowing our young people to be creative or to express themselves in whatever way they need to, whether it's through art, music, dance, song, rap, whether it's through writing and literature, whether it's through just, style and dress. We need to allow them to express themselves and to be creative and to use their imagination, because that's how dreams are born, is through the imagination.
Thank you, girl. I receive all of that, especially having two amazing Black African American men. I often hear them say that they watched me, although I went to work with a smiling face. They watched my struggle as I worked over promotions, or as I wasn't granted. I didn't have this road paved, and they said that the heartache hurt them so much that they never wanted to do that. They both are entrepreneurs, and in some ways I felt really sad, because I didn't want them to see the sad part. The reason I was there was to give them the life that I never had.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, when you say allow them to be, I really have to encourage them, because we're taught, you go to school, get a good education, and then you go to work for some major corporation. You retire with a pen or a watch, and that's supposed to be happiness.
Right.
Not into perspective that in those institutions you're being demeaned, you're being marginalized, you're being put down. You're not being everything but what you just said our youth needs: to be encouraged and uplifted. You're being judged. You're being you're being, if my hair is if I have dreads, or if I have gray, I'm being judged because I don't necessarily adapt to the westernized world. Allow me to be. And when we do allow them to be, you know what I mean? So yes, this is speaking loud volumes to me, and hopefully
and I have 3 teenagers, and they're all girls, and so 19 to 13, and all 3 of them express themselves differently. But one thing I do not do is take their voice away from them.
Yes.
I allow them the opportunity to express, concerns and disagreements, and I teach them how to do it effectively, so that they are never sitting somewhere in a corner or off, somewhere just shut off, cut off, shut down, and disengaged because someone didn't take them seriously or wouldn't listen to their perspective. So
Right.
that's very important because that's what I've experienced. And I knew that I did not want to live my life in that way, holding back and stifled and muffled, so.
Absolutely. Yes, we
Yeah.
have to give a voice, but that is what the world is facing right now. There has been a race of people that have been not allowed to express themselves, and the world wants to quiet us. And that's not happening anymore.
Right. No, not at all.
Not having it. And unapologetically. And I think universally, really, it's a beautiful thing if, like those we talk about, our children, step back and look at the beauty. If the world looked all the same, it would be a very boring world. What makes the world so beautiful is the different ethnicities and the authenticity of those individuals, allowing them to be themselves. So I'm 100% in alignment with you. And especially as you start talking about spirit, which on these platforms, people tend to not talk about because we don't want to offend someone, or we don't want to, when spirit is alive and spirit is well. And there are things working for the good, and there's things trying not to work for the good.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So we have to be consciously aware of it. One of the things we were talking about early on prior to, and I don't know if you care to expand on it, but you have an amazing, some pictures behind you, which I found to be very fascinating. And you were educating me on those pictures. And you told me that they were the Abinkra, which is from West Africa. Can you share a little bit? I found them all to be very, very, and for those of you who already knew, okay, help me, because to be honest with you, this is the honest to goodness truth. Black history wasn't taught in school to me until I was in high school. Taught by Mr. Howard at Santa Teresa High School. And I remember it was like only my freshman year. I don't remember it was a requirement every year. So if I haven't sought it on my own, then it wasn't there. So that's why I'm asking you for this education.
Absolutely. No, and Dikra symbols are symbols that are historical and have a philosophical significance. I only have a few up here, if you can see. There's only a few of them here.
Yes.
There's over like 200 in Adinkra symbols.
Okay.
They each have their own West African name, and then the translation of the meaning. And the ones I have up is, the first one is Jinami. It's very popular. It means accept God, or God is king. You have the second symbol of abundance, one of strength, transformation, beauty, endurance, adaptation, bravery. And those speak to me because that's how I, approach life. It's how I approach my work. And they all just bring something unique and special to my life. And it's another important aspect about symbols is that they're a language in and of themselves, and they can leave an imprint on the psyche as well. And so they deliver messages without words. And so that's you see that in advertising every day. You can see the Nike symbol, the swoosh symbol, and Nike doesn't have to be written anywhere on it. The symbol itself will communicate to you what that product represents. And so we have symbols within our own African culture that we can incorporate into our lives that uplifts us, that motivates us. And these are just one example. You have the ancient Kemetic hieroglyphics that are, that was the ancient language. The first language was symbols. So of the Kemetic people, ancient Egyptian people of the Nubia and Sudan and Ethiopia, the first language was a language of symbols. And so so I just wanted to share that aspect. Thank you, Sheryl, for putting me on the spot.
You know what I'm really loving about this is because we're talking about having faith, intuition, and tenacity, and we're talking about dreams and goals and writing them down, and we're talking about encouragement and where do you find it, and we're talking about being there for our youth as well as for ourselves, and everything that you just mentioned we need on a day-to-day basis. Absolutely. I think that there are symbols in life. If you turn on the news, it's enough to depress anybody because it's only talking about the coronavirus. I get it, and I'm not opposed to it, but there's a lot out there. It's really, really awesome for us to also understand about, like the Bible teaches often, be in the world and not of the world. And to me, those symbols, for me, I'm going to go print those symbols out that apply to me. I'm going to do my homework. And because I have things around me, I have hearts around me, love around me, signs that say love, signs that says count your blessings, believe all things are possible. On the wall, I have, wait a minute, can you see here? Trust in the Lord with all your heart.
Yes. I love it.
I'm a firm believer in symbols. I'm a firm believer. And this show is about how do you get mentally fit? That's what we're talking about. This isn't just to be just talking. It's talking to give you tools. And those tools are the things that you need. I often talk about, LaTrondra, like my practice, like how I live every day, how I wake up every day is by grounding myself. I have to start my day off. I don't have to. I choose to start my day off. No radio, no television. It's just me, my mind, and spirit. Light a candle.
Yes.
Some Palo Santo or sage, your choice, do you. And truly call on my ancestors and be present. Be present to what's being spoken to me, not the noise of the world, just between me and God, just me and God, and then followed by a daily practice of affirmations. Then I go to the gym for an hour. So I'm saying all that to say that it's all needed and necessary. So I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I wanted.
It's all good. It's all good, Sheryl. Thank you. I appreciate it. It gives an opportunity for me to just, bring another aspect of myself into the work that I do. Because I'm in my office. So it's not like, I'm at home in my bedroom and these are hanging up. I bring who I am to my work. And this is an aspect of who I am. Yeah.
Yes. I love every aspect of you. And I love the work that you're doing. And I love your commitment to it. And like I said, our youth are our future. And, it also speaks that he be without sin, let him pass the first stone. We've all made mistakes in our lives and we've all done things that aren't perfect. And so I love the fact that there are people really fighting and rooting for those that don't have somebody to have a voice for them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You are that queen, that you are needed and you're necessary. And I mean, not only did you go back and get your undergraduate, you got 2 masters and now you're working on your PhD. And that is amazing.
I have a tendency to perfect my craft. And so, I definitely, I'm a firm, I value education and I definitely, a firm believer in developing skills and knowledge. I'm on a continual quest for knowledge. Yes. And so those degrees are just, a symbol, also a representation of my quest. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I so appreciate you and the work that you do. As you have gone through, LaTrondra, tell me, Can you share with me, and this is not to put you on the spot, if you can't just say, Sheryl, no, I can't think of anything, but if you can use, because one of the things I like to do is give people anecdotal ways of how you have overcome. Can you think of an example or a situation that really caused you to use your faith, intuition, and tenacity that you're okay and comfortable with sharing? And my goal is to give them a real story of something you've had to overcome and how you did it, how you overcame it. Especially you talked about your youth and even with your education and the different degrees. Is there anything that comes to mind?
Absolutely. So I've had to overcome many hardships and challenging times. I lost my brother and dear friend many years ago. He was 18 years old, and his death, impacted me in a way that I've never felt. I just never felt grief and pain in this way. I was in my senior year in college, and I decided to drop out because I just could not. This is undergrad, so I just could not fathom reading another book, writing another paper. I was so overwhelmed and consumed with grief that I was losing grip with reality, and I couldn't have a straight conversation with anyone without them asking, "Girl, what are you talking? What are you talking about?" And no one could really relate, and it was very challenging and difficult for people to pull me out of it, and so I one of my sorority sisters, just put her arms around me and say, "Hey, look, you are not this. We know the greatness that's within you." And I have to say that I've had a number of people do that. Like maybe some people call it an intervention. Some people call it, a powwow or, a sister circle or whatever. But they, all of them came together and they told me some things about myself. And instead of slamming me and telling me how I was up to no good and, I wasn't living up to my potential and, everything that I've done in the past was just so horrible and I'm not going to ever redeem myself. They reminded me of my greatness. And they reminded me of the legacy that I am and my destiny and what brought on this earth to do. And they were not the only ones. I had other family members, I had other friends, along the way that kind of showed me. But what ended up really helping was me tapping into my spiritual center, diving deep into my faith and my spirituality, and looking at the exceptional human experiences that I was having as growth moments. And not to weaken me, but to strengthen me. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Say that one again.
Yes. So, yeah, my lived experiences were to strengthen me and not weaken me. Definitely. And everything that I was going through was a lesson to be learned. And it wasn't all for me. It was for somebody else who needed it. So I had to go through it so that I could help the next person get through it. And that's kind of like jump started me back into finishing up my undergraduate studies. I was adamant about becoming a therapist and entering into the mental health field. My grades didn't allow me at the time to move directly into a PhD program. So I got a master's in social welfare and went into the work of the community and started a nonprofit organization working with youth and young adults and helping them come out of their despair and their grief and their trauma and reminding them that they're not their trauma. You know, we don't have to look at ourselves through the eyes of the white gaze. Everything about us is based on their perspectives and their reality and what they know about us. So what they think they know, because they don't know nothing. They don't know nothing about us. No. And so we are resilient.
Understand there's a lot of assumptions that are being made, which is a part of the problem. If
yes.
We're at the table, there's no way you can have diversity and we're not at the table. If we're not at the table, that's not diversity. Sorry. I mean, if we're not at the table, you can't have discussions about how to solve issues. We need to be there in order to give you
absolutely
so that you can develop them. We don't need band-aids. We need solutions. And in order to do that, we have
their definition of illness, their definition of wellness, their definition of life is different because it's lived, in a different way and is viewed through a different lens. So why are we using their lens to determine what's best for us? It's not effective. No. So that's why, so what worked for me is going back to my African origins, honoring God, honoring spirit, honoring the ancestors, honoring those yet to be born, because I'm here to prepare the way for them. Because we're going to live. We're going to live through this. And we're going to survive it. The first humanoid or human being was found, in Africa.
Go there, girl.
They named her Lucy.
Lucy. I know about Lucy.
Nonetheless, whatever, that's through their lens, right, of who she's supposed to be. But even before her, there's millions of years of a race of people that existed. This is an African race. This is an African consciousness. This is an African spirit. The name Africa is, originally Akabulan. So that's just speaks to the fact that everything that we know about ourselves isn't the truth. It's been renamed and the story has been retold many times in so many different ways.
That's a true story. One of the things, I don't know, you might want to speak on this. We're not going to go too far off, but I'd love to. Because I often think of Egypt. Like most people refer to Egypt as Egypt, and that wasn't the name. And it was colonized.
Yes.
And on being colonized, they who colonized it called it Egypt.
Yep.
It was really the Kemet people. And that's not taught in our history about who they were, the origin of who they were, and the power of who they were. And I often ask myself, why?
By design? It's by design. They don't want us to recognize our greatness of who we are. We're the only people on the planet with melanin, the original people, the source. Our melanin is a direct connection to the cosmos without the stardust that's out in the universe. It's so much for us to know. And then once we get closer to that self-knowledge, it is the basis of all knowledge. And so that's why they don't want us to know who we are, because then we'll be figuring out some things and turning some things around. But we're there, we're getting there. That's what this uprising.
That's why this platform was created.
Yeah.
Women that look like me, because I often would go into corporate conferences, and there was always only one of us.
Yeah.
And there'd be a room full, and there would be one of us. And that is not inclusion at all. That is not being a part of something. And I'm at the point now where I'll create my own. I don't need you to create it for me. And I want real stories to be told. I want to hear the truth about who I am and what I'm going through, and not by somebody else's definition of who I am. I know who I am. I'm very clear on who I am. And
Well,
I'm very
you cannot have truth without search. And so, it's not going to be nothing is really going to be given to us, but we definitely not going to be given the truth. We got to dig and search for it and make it, our truth and our reality.
That's why you can't take face value. That's why this platform was created. There's so much disinformation. I wanted to create a platform with people that look like us,
yes,
speaks our language, and unapologetically to encourage and inspire. And I hope this is being an inspiration to anyone who's listening right now, whether you listen now or whether you listen later, that if you didn't get anything out of today's conversation, is that we have amazing people like LaTrondra that is doing the work, the hard labor of being out there with our youth and educating them on who they are, and to remind them of how powerful they are.
Absolutely.
Mostly everything that we have seen in the past with media paints a picture that if you don't look a certain way, or if you don't win, all of this is beautiful. All of this.
Everything. Yes. Every single, aspect. I also wanted to, add that, the strength, the power, the resilience is in our story, is in our lived experiences. And so we have to come together in community. And I keep saying community because, we're not an individualized people. We collectively approach things. We collectively explore. We collectively live, this existence. And so we have to collectively heal. We can't do this alone. And so you have to start with family, start with community, and then come together in the larger society to make that happen.
You are speaking my language. When I was in grad school, I came up with something called the C4 matrix. And while it is very powerful, it's really simple. It's communication. What we're doing right now creates connection, creates collaboration. And I have a whole program around it that really breaks that down. But collaboration creates community.
I would love to see it. Share that, please. Share that with me.
And it's all about community. The new currency is community.
Yes.
Resides. We contribute as a culture a lot of money into the economy because by nature we are consumers. But there's power in our consumption because now we get power of choice. We now get to choose companies that also believe in us and not by superficial value. And we need companies to understand that we're very smart people. Please don't underestimate our intelligence. Yeah, we might do a lot of things, but don't ever underestimate that. Our power resides in our wallet as a community. And we to work with those that work with us. I know that recently, I think it was with, and I don't want to mess the story up, but Beyonce walked into the boardroom. And I think it was with, I'm going to say who the company was, but the story went is that when she walked in the boardroom, she was about to do a major contract with them. But when she walked in, there was nobody in the room that looked like her. And they wanted to take her and do it in Africa. And she's like, no, you don't get to use my name for that.
Right.
And our power. That is.
Absolutely.
We don't have to do that.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
So know that we're here to support those that support us. But at the same time, if you don't, that's okay. You have your choice. But we do too.
Yes. Yes. I also wanted to add, as a director of youth advocate programs, that I don't do the work alone. I have the support and help of our community advocates. And these advocates are people from the community where the youth are from. And so they look like them. They might even dress like them, talk like them. But nonetheless, these advocates support and guide and direct our youth. and help them achieve their goals. And so I'm always looking for advocates. I'm looking for people who love their community and love youth and want to make a difference and and here to make that impact. So just please reach out to me. Uh, my my website is yapinc.org. But my number, I want you to email me and call me and let me know you're interested. Let's have a conversation and see if you're the best fit for this job.
Yes, I want to say, please do support LaTrondra and everything that she's doing. It does take a village, and we all have different skill sets, and we all have different passions. But if you are passionate about our youth and you truly care, then please do reach out to her so that you can learn more about how you can help make a difference in the lives of others. I know for me, the reason I do the work that I do is because I want to leave a legacy. My goal, LaTrondra, is to reach 50 million women. And why do I want to reach them? Because I want, and I have at least 20 girls that I'm mentoring right now, and I love every last one of them. They're all bright, amazing, brilliant young women, but I want to be that role model for them. I
Absolutely.
want that person that they can come to, that they don't have to feel threatened by going on their jobs and saying something that they feel might, put them in a position of being retaliated against or being fired, but they can have an honest conversation with me. And one, I can hear them where others won't. And then I can also give them strategies on what steps to take to help them get out of their situations. And the same for you. That's what you're doing for our youth. And I want to tell you that I have a program called Fit for the Future. Everything I do is fit. Everything I do
is definitely.
It's a residency program, and what we do is truly take them first, getting them mentally fit, and then after we get them mentally fit, then we put them through a program to help them with resume writing. We help them with presentation skills, how to advance their career, and then I put them in the room with other mentors, and also put them in the room with other peers that are their age that are just doing great things. So that energy then begins to spread. Again, I said community is one of the greatest powers that we have. So I'm here. So just know if you have those and they're interested, but I do ask that they do work for me. So for instance, I've had people that are starting businesses that are now working with me. So I coach them and put them through the program. In return, they do work for me. I have girls that are in film. I have some that are.
I love it.
I have some that are in social media. I have some that are in marketing. I have some that are in sales. I have some that are care to just get creative and, do graphic design. So they all do something different, but their jobs may not give them an opportunity to do it because they say they don't have the skill set. Well, they and they can get the skills to do what they're passionate about, because I'd rather put them where they're going to be passionate, because then they're going to thrive.
Yes.
I'm all about hearing them, listening to them, hearing their voice, validating for them, encouraging them, everything you just talked about. So I want to let you know I do have that program available. We only take so many a year, but I definitely would be more than willing to, connect with you that way so that we can give those individuals an opportunity. And then this platform, LaTrondra, one of the reasons I have you on this platform is because I have a database of over 200 people that I've interviewed. And this platform is about digital mentorship. They can come in now and hear LaTrondra's story. They can go to my YouTube channel, subscribe today. It's easy. Just Google Sheryl Grant and you will find all my social media, Instagram, Facebook. But it's all there to be an encouragement. And the more we build these tools and share these tools together, then the more we can spread.
Yes.
Really be encouraged as a culture, as a people. And this is for Black people, people of color. And even if you're not a color, we're here to support. We're not here to exclude. What I'm here is to make sure that the people who need it the most are getting it.
Yes, absolutely.
So one of the things I love about what I do, LaTrondra, is I get to learn so many amazing things, and today has been no exception to that rule. The other part is it goes so quickly, like the hour is gone. So I'm going to ask one more time, because I want to know, LaTrondra, how can people support you? What can we do to support you?
Yes. So become an advocate, become an employer. We have a supported work program that's similar to your program in preparing women for their career focus. Okay. We have a supported work program that prepares young people and youth and young adults for the workforce and entrepreneurship. And so one of the reasons we connected was through the Oakland African American Chamber of Commerce,
which I'm the vice chair for.
Okay, see, yes. And so we have a list of employers, entrepreneurs who have agreed to hire our young people, mentor them, and support them while they try out careers with them, and they have direct access to them. Our YAP program pays the wages, but the employer provides the work site and opportunity and mentorship to support young people. So we're looking for advocates and we're looking for employers to hire our young people.
I love that. If anybody's listening out there, please do contact LaTrondra. Here goes her website. LaTrondra, do you want me to give your telephone number? Or you just your
email? My email is fine. You want me to put it in the chat?
Please.
It's lumpkins@yapinc.org. Email will be best anyway. Email me your resume. Shoot me a cover letter. Tell me that you're interested. You heard this interview and you want to get involved. Let's have a conversation.
Well, I want to say, so my last thing that I want to ask you, but I don't want you to answer. I'm going to ask you, and then I'm going to make some announcement, and then you can come back and answer.
Okay. So you have
time to think about it. You could leave my audience, this platform, one piece of advice. What would that be? Don't answer yet. So while she's thinking about that, I want to say this has been amazing. And I want to say to you, those of you who come weekly, thank you so much for your support. I cannot do this without you. I want to thank everybody for your email messages, your text messages, your email, all of that, to encourage me to continue to bring this platform to you. I also want to encourage you to please follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, subscribe to my YouTube channel. That costs nothing. Really encourage others to go in and chime in to these amazing people that are doing great work literally around the globe. I really want to encourage you to do that. And I am just so excited to be here with you weekly, and I'm so grateful. I also want to say, as LaTrondra has said,
LaTrondra.
Yeah, LaTrondra, I'm sorry. And I always want to put an R on the end of your name, LaTrondra.
You're not the only one. You're not the only one.
Yeah, but I want to say that I can't do this work alone. It does take a team, and I have one. And I want to say to each and every one of them, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for your tireless work that you give me. Jonte, Zai, Andres, Ebony, Jazz. If I'm missing somebody, Jazz, Teresa, Dejan, and the list goes on. And
that's wonderful.
I know I did. But I mean for everybody. And I want to thank you, whether you're on the main line, on the sideline, for everything you do to support me. And I have so many people that really believe in the work that I'm doing. So thank you to my board. Oh my God, I have the most amazing advisory board. I want to thank every single one of them. Antonio Davis, Dan Hughes, Marcia Nelson, Paula, just the list goes on there. I want to thank you for just pouring into me. And I want to continue to do the work. So if it's meaningful and you're getting something out of it, I need to hear from you. I need to hear from you. So with that said, now, LaTrondra.
So I would say listen to that inner voice inside. When it's telling you something good, when it's telling you to do something wonderful and great. That's your intuition. When I would also say be creative and tap into the imagination and allow that to drive your creativity.
Oh my God, you guys, that was everything. And listen to and be creative, you said, right?
Yes.
Let it guide you. Oh my God, LaTrondra, I am so honored to have today and this opportunity to talk with you. This has been amazing, but I knew it would be. I knew it would be.
You did. You did.
Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for having faith.
I appreciate you, Sheryl. I really do. Yes.
I do want to work with you. I think there's great work and synergies that we could do together, and anything that I can personally do to support you. No, not only as the vice chair of the Oakland African American Chamber of Commerce, but as Sheryl Grant International, I'm here to support you. I'm here. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Well, for having me.
Thank you, everybody. Happy Thursday. Have a fabulous weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't hang up.